Most people think building a home gym starts with the equipment. For me, it started with an injury. A year ago, I got hurt at a CrossFit gym, and it forced me to step back and really ask myself how I wanted to train for the long haul. I was tired of crowded spaces, rushed workouts, and feeling like I was gambling with my body every time I walked in the door. And I wanted something different, something I could build with intention, a space where my day didn't start in chaos, but in quiet, focused routine. A place where I could set the tone mentally, design the workouts I actually need, and create an environment that supports recovery just as much as intensity. So I did it, piece by piece. I invested in that vision, not in the perfect gym, but in a space that would keep me consistent, strong, and healthy for years, right here at home. And this right here is what that decision turned into.
And here we are. Now, 1 year later, I want to give you a full review and breakdown of how I built the most epic backyard gym ever. Come check it out. And the first thing is a rig. So I decided to go with the Monster Light rig by Rogue. There's probably other options out there now. I'm not gonna get into too much of the names and the prices of these things, but I'm just gonna share with you how I decided to buy these certain pieces of equipment that you're gonna see throughout this video. The things I liked about this rig were it was wide enough for me to get in here and actually do a squat. It was tall enough for me to use the pull-up bar to do muscle ups, pull-ups, and all of my hanging exercises. But it also had an optional wall ball attachment that was tall enough for me to actually practice doing real wall balls. I added some things to it also, like I added these weight holders on the side. I also had my barbell holders on here originally, but there was no drainage at the bottom of them. And when I would have my barbells here and it would rain, it would just pool water, caused a little bit of rusting on my barbells. We'll get into those here in a little bit. But all of my rubber plates out here have been out here exclusively their entire lives. And there's been zero issues. They're rubber plates, super hardy. And yeah, I've had no issues with them at all. I've had no issues with the rack either. The only thing that has had any rusting issues on this rig is the J-hooks. And they started rusting within like hours of being outside, and they haven't gotten any worse, and I haven't done anything to them, and they're working great. So I would say if you're somebody considering getting a rig outside, do it. Like, just do it. I got this inspiration from my buddy Eric Hinman. He lives in Colorado. He has a house in Austin, Texas as well. And I saw he had his rig outside in the snow. And he said, dude, it's been out here for years and I've had no issues with it. Everything works the way it needs to work. And we had talked about, you know, if you go to any CrossFit gym or really any gym that's been around for longer than a year, equipment sitting inside also has some rust on it. So I want to just point that out. A lot of people see a little bit of the rust in my videos and they're like, man, you're destroying your equipment. I'm here to tell you that this has been out here for almost 2 years now, and there has been no issues with performance at all. And the rig wasn't always there. Matter of fact, that deck wasn't always there. That's an addition. The rig started right here against this wall, and I didn't even have any rubber flooring. I just bought a rig, I put it outside, and I started working out. Very quickly, I realized that there's a reason gyms have thick rubber flooring, and it's not so that your feet don't squeak, it's when you drop weights. So I went to a Tractor Supply and I bought some of this horse barn stall mat, way cheaper than gym flooring. If you go and look on different websites, gym flooring is very expensive. Each of these pieces, which is 4 foot by 6 foot, cost about $49 from a regular feed store. So I bought enough to fill this entire area in. And then shortly after that, I decided to add this deck. When I built it, I wanted to make sure that it was heavy duty enough to withstand having lots of weight on it because I was going to do my cold plunge reviews on here, and that's what this deck was built for. I was doing cold plunge reviews out here. I had 4 different cold plunges on this deck for a lot of its life until I realized, if I have all these cold plunges on this deck and it's doing great, why can't I just put my rig on that? So I added some rubber flooring over here, moved the rig over here so I had a better scene, and it's been awesome. I've since now moved cold plunges everywhere else and just really made this my gym. So the next piece of equipment that has been out here the longest is this Freak Athlete Nordic Hyper GHD leg extension. They've made it the longest name possible. And what's funny about this is the founder of this company has been watching my YouTube videos since I was making videos around the car business and chickens and chicken coops. And he reached out to me and was like, dude, I've been a long time subscriber to your channel. I love that you've gotten into health and wellness. I have a product I want to send to you and I want you to just check out. Feel free to review it if you want to, but you can just have it. So Yogi, thank you so much for sending this to me. this has been awesome. And surprisingly enough, I didn't even tell them I was gonna leave this outside, but I don't have a gym inside, my gym's outside. So this has been outside, and what you see is what has happened to it. It's still in great shape. Now, I don't use it for the 15 different exercises that it can do. You can do Nordics, hyper, you can do a GHD, you can move this thing all sorts of different ways. I use this thing for leg extensions. Leg extensions are a really underrated exercise I personally love, and I attribute a lot of my lack of injury to doing leg extensions. Once I started doing long distance running, training for high rocks and including a lot more runs, I realized that a lot of my friends deal with knee pain and shin splints, but because I do a lot of leg extensions, and when I say a lot, I do like 50 reps like every other day, I have not had any knee injuries. Now, knock on wood, whatever superstitions you're into, I have not had any knee injuries, and I really do attribute a lot of that to the amount of leg extensions I do. And that's really what I use this for. It's a great machine. There's a lot of functions to it, but leg extensions are awesome, and there's been no issues with this piece of equipment at all. So originally I had a adjustable bench that could go to incline, decline, all that stuff, and I still have it, but I realized that you just need a flat bench, and you can just put weights or plates underneath it to jack it up and make it an incline if needed. But I bought this bench off of Rogue. It's got one setting, and it's made out of a foam, a really thick foam, and it's been outside the entire life that I've had it, and it's been great. It's got a lot of sweaty men on this. I've never cleaned it off. It just gets rained on, but this is a great bench. It was one of Rogue's cheapest benches at the time when I bought it, and I've been a big fan of it. This next piece of equipment is a GHD machine. It's from Rogue. It's their Abram 2.0. And it's been awesome. I got introduced to GHDs in CrossFit. I was an avid CrossFit goer before I built my own gym here in my backyard. And a couple of guys who had jacked abs and like their abs were just super defined would do GHDs every single day after our workout. They would just go and hit 30 to 50 GHDs. And I'm like, man, I need to do that. So shortly after I stopped going to CrossFit and built this gym, I purchased this myself, and it's been a great piece of equipment. Same thing, it's been outside its entire life. And I think a lot of people, when I originally posted my gym review content, were like, man, you're gonna destroy that thing. The cushions aren't gonna withstand the elements, but they have. There has been no issues on the cushions. Like, this has got less wear and tear than a lot of the GHD machines that I see at gyms that I go to. So they're building a great product over at Rogue, and this thing has been outside for a long time and is working really, really great. So this is where I have piled a lot of my accessories. I've got a bunch of random dumbbells, some wall balls, atlas balls, slam balls, kettlebells, all that you see over here. Also have a nice little band. These are the one things that will not withstand the elements. Like, I will get a band and I will use it until it snaps, then I'll throw it away and get another band. They're not expensive. I get them on Amazon, but these are good for just warm-ups and stretches, doing banded workouts. Also a great assist for people who aren't great at doing pull-ups yet. So always have a band. Keep my weighted vest out here. It soaks in the elements. It's starting to fade, but weighted vest out here. I love doing weighted workouts. I've got an array of different kettlebells. Funny enough, the Rogue kettlebells look the oldest. They're actually one of the newest kettlebells that I have. They've got some rust on them, but got kettlebells for all sorts of kettlebell workouts. I'm a big fan of kettlebells. I love farmer's carries. So I've got all these different kettlebells. Wall balls, I've had these out here for a long time. I always try to keep the laces down so when it does rain, the water can just kind of run right off of them. But these are out here, atlas balls underneath them, dumbbells, slam balls, just sitting out here. All sorts of equipment just sitting out here in the elements, and I've had no issues. The dumbbells I have had out here for the longest are starting to show a little bit of rust on the handle, but it doesn't affect their ability to work. They're rubber dumbbells. That's the one thing I would say. If you are gonna build an outdoor gym, opt for rubber weights, don't get the metal weights. I do have some metal weights as well. They're undercover just when we need some extra, but we don't leave them out here in the elements. I'm just afraid those are gonna rust pretty bad. But all the rubber dumbbells have held up really, really well. And while I'm talking about accessories, this is the Plyo Box by Rogue. They're made out of like a resin material, which is cool for box jumps, weighted step ups, different exercises, tricep dips and stuff like that. They stack into each other, so they're really easy to store. They're hollow underneath, as you can see, as opposed to a wooden box. I was also afraid a wooden box wouldn't last out here very well, and they're a little bit heavier to move around. These are super light, easy to move around. I have 4 different heights of them. Once again, they stack into each other. And the only thing about these is every single screw has rusted and kind of oxidized pretty bad. They still work. I haven't had one bust on me yet. I'm waiting for that day to come, but it would be nice if they would replace these screws with like a stainless steel screw or something like that, because I do have a friend who bought these for his CrossFit gym in California, and within weeks, kind of the same thing. These are starting to rust even inside a gym. So maybe that's just a design flaw from Rogue, but they haven't had any issues here. I haven't had any of them bust. So I'm happy so far. Now let's talk about the equipment everybody's mostly concerned with, and that's the Assault gear. This is the Assault Runner Pro. Been out here since October of last year. That's when it was placed on this deck. And so it surprised me. I've had no issues with it. There's literally nothing on this piece of equipment that is rusting. All of the bearings work perfectly. I was assuming the screen was going to stop working very quickly. It's battery operated. You press these buttons, you see this is like a display screen. I was totally prepared for this to just not work and me to just kind of like count myself in while I'm running and not be able to see stats. Here we are over a year later, and the screen works perfectly. I've had no issues with it, and I've never even covered it. I was gonna put like a Ziploc bag over it and kind of rig myself a little protective covering, but I didn't, and it's still working. So Assault's building a great piece of equipment. I'm not here to tell you you should put it outside. I'm just telling you I did, and here we are a year later, still works great. While we're talking about Assault gear, let's talk about the Assault rower. So the rower has had a little bit more rusting than some of the other pieces of equipment, but only on the chain that's exposed to the elements. And that doesn't even go inside. Once you pull the chain out, the inside, the chain still looks brand new and it still operates as brand new. Everything on the outside has been great. The one thing I always have to worry about is the lizards that get into the fan and the spiders. I'm in Florida, so I deal with lizards, I deal with bugs. We've got spider webs on everything. And the only thing about this piece of equipment, if I was doing anything differently, I would probably put these two pieces of equipment under some sort of cover, because they've had some of the, not biggest problems, but they've had some visual problems. Like the screen is weirdly like, it looks like it's cracking. Still works fine, still calculates everything perfectly, but it just looks a little odd. And then if we go from that over to the bike, same thing. The fan is always filled with spider webs. It's always filled with lizards. And then there's a little bit of rusting around certain parts of the bike. Nothing has stopped it from performing like it needs to during a workout, and the screen still works too. Same thing as the runner. I thought all of these screens were gonna be done after a month, but here we are over a year later. Screens are still working. I've never replaced a battery. There's no corrosion in the battery housing from what I've seen or what I've noticed, and everything is working as it needs to, as it would in any CrossFit gym or any gym that these pieces of equipment would be in. So Assault's building a great piece of product. Great job, Assault. If anybody from Assault ever watches this, I'm impressed. I'm happy that it's been out here for a year and is still working great. And when people come over and work out, they're always like blown away that I just leave this stuff out here. But maybe I'm the one guinea pig in the world willing to test this out. I don't know if anybody else is doing this other than my buddy Eric Hinman, but yeah, I'm happy with the gym so far, but we've got more to talk about. And while we're talking about cardio equipment, this is the Concept 2 ski erg. This is one of my favorite pieces of cardio equipment. It always has been. Since it came out, I'm like, I just like it. It just feels good. Get a full body extension and it's fun. Plus it's a part of High Rocks, and I've been doing a lot of High Rock style training now. This has also impressed me. Once again, another piece of equipment that I just assumed I was gonna have a lot of issues with. I was willing to test it. I know people might think that's dumb, but that's why you subscribe to my channel, because I test and review a lot of these products to let you know what's worth considering or not. Still, out here over a year, no issues. There's no issues on this one at all. I did just post a video on how to fix this. Sometimes the bungees inside will pop. It's happened on just normal ski ergs at a CrossFit gym when you're pulling really, really fast. So I just posted a video a couple days ago where my handle got stuck like this because the bungee inside popped. I show you how to fix that. It's a video I'll link at the end of this video as well. But that would have happened if this piece of equipment was undercover in a garage gym or anywhere else. I've had no issues with this. I used to have a Ziploc bag over this screen because there seems to be more exposure to the actual computer stuff inside, but I've had no issues with it. The Ziploc has ripped and blown away, and it's been rained on a million times, and the screen still works perfectly. Everything is working perfectly, and I'm really, really happy with this. So Concept 2, you're also building a great piece of equipment. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably know that I have a lot of people come and work out here with me from all over the country, really all over the world. They'll work out with me, we'll do a wellness session together, they'll sign the Wall of Fame. And one of the pieces of equipment we always use after every workout is a sauna. This is a full spectrum infrared sauna by Sun Home Saunas. It's a beast. It's a 5-person outdoor sauna. And it's kind of rare. There's not a lot of infrared saunas that you can have outside exposed to the elements, but this one you can. It's been out here for a while. It's got a nice steel roof that protects everything inside the sauna from the elements. And I've got it jacked up right now because I'm about to hit a little workout and get myself a nice little sauna session. Contrary to a lot of other people's beliefs, I also cold plunge after my sauna session, after every workout. I don't stay in it very long. I always cold plunge in the morning. I love waking up to a cold plunge. I love a cold plunge prior to working out. It's an incredible addition to your pre-workout. It can't even replace your pre-workout. A lot of people do that. I still love caffeine, so as you see, I like to mix up my own pre-workout and then take a cold plunge and then work out. But always have my cold plunge. This is my really cold one. I have the Apex Pro right now. I'm about to move it, so I have it drained right now, but this and this are two of the most premium cold plunges on the market. I have full reviews of both of them. If you're looking for a cold plunge or sauna to just beautify your outdoor gym, definitely look at Sun Home Saunas. They make a really great product, and that's a vertical plunge. It's super deep. It's almost like a dunk tank filled with freezing cold water, but definitely some premium pieces of equipment. But I want to show you some of my newest equipment that I just got recently. And I think a lot of people with this new Hyrox craze are gonna like this piece of equipment we're gonna talk about. Before we talk about my newest equipment, I did mention earlier we would talk about my barbells. So this is my newest barbell. It's a woman's barbell because my wife works out with me, and sometimes women will come over here and work out with their husbands, and we have couple workouts together, which is fun. Male barbell from Rogue, and then this barbell I've had for a very long time, and I probably need to either retire it or have somebody help me fix it. It doesn't twist like that well at all. This is the one I was telling you about. I would leave it in the holder out there, and when it would rain, it would just soak in all that water. If I was gonna do anything over again, I would never leave my barbells exposed to the rain, just because there's, just because like it ain't good. I don't know how they build these things, but I will tell you this: the ones that I've kept undercover have been great for the past year. The one I've had for a long time, I use it for deadlifts and very minimal movement workouts when we need an extra bar. But yeah, it doesn't really twist very well at all. And that leads me to one of my newest channel sponsors. This is Center. Center is also the equipment provider for all Hyrox tournaments. I just published a video where I go over how you can actually train with the exact gear you're going to use on Hyrox race day. And I'm super blessed to say Center is a channel sponsor here. We've got their sandbags, we've got their wall ball, we've got their interlocking plates, their sled, their rope, their dumbbells, their kettlebells, and more equipment coming to review and talk about. Center makes a premium product, and the reason it's under here is because I want to keep it that way. I want to keep it really, really nice. So I'm going to take care of this a little bit differently than I would taking care of products that I'm buying myself. But the wall ball is premium, the dumbbells are premium, the kettlebells are premium. Sandbags, it's a whole different ball game. This little guy that I bought on Amazon versus the Hyrox sandbags. But the sled is awesome too. They sell a turf, the same turf that you race on at Hyrox. And I've inquired about getting that turf so that I can use the same exact sled that I'm gonna experience on Hyrox race day with the same exact turf. So if I'm able to build that, I'll be posting about it. It'll be great. I'm gonna have that over there on my Sport Court. But super blessed to have the Center gear. It's awesome to have an addition and have some premium gear. So this is the Plunge Mini Sauna. Like you probably know, Plunge has been a channel sponsor for many years now. This is their mini 2-person traditional sauna, which is really cool. Gets up to temperatures over 200 degrees. And it's nice to have a little bit of both over here. It's nice to be able to get off of the workout, heart rate's still elevated, and jump in here, pour water on the rocks, create some steam, or jump in if you have more than 2 people into the Sun Home Sauna. So having these 2 options over here is great. One is infrared, one is traditional, 2 very different experiences, but super grateful for Plunge. And like I was mentioning, these boxes over here, Ryan, the founder of Plunge, sent me 37 rebounders, because I'm a big fan of rebounding, which is the small trampolines. 37 rebounders for my 37th birthday. So I've been gifting these to people. I've given them to teachers. I've given them to people who've come over and worked out with me. It's kind of like a cool little parting gift. I don't need 37 rebounders myself, but Ryan, I love you, brother, and I appreciate everything you do for me. And that's the equipment that I have currently, but there's more. Check this out. I'm meeting with a guy this week because it's gotten to the point now where people are like, hey, David, I'm in town. I'm in Tampa. I'd love to jump in and get a workout with you. And there's been days I've had 8, 10 people back here working out, and I love it. I don't charge admission for that or anything. I really enjoy the community of getting people who are like-minded, who love putting their body into tough positions, working out in the elements, and getting everybody together and having a great workout and wellness session. But it can get a little bit tight. So I'm meeting with a guy this week to potentially expand the deck and add another deck back here. And if that's the case, my goal is I want to move some of this equipment back here, maybe some of the cardio equipment back here. It's under a nice little cover, maybe even build like a little pergola over it, and then expand and have some more weightlifting pieces of equipment on this side. I know Center just launched, they have like this full-blown 3 to 4 person Hyrox rig. That would be a dream to have that here instead of just one rig. That way we can have multiple people doing multiple things at the same exact time, really putting more emphasis on training for Hyrox. Hyrox is a craze. Everybody loves it. It's super fun. Me and my wife completed our first Hyrox this year in New York, and we're gonna do some more. So looking forward to continuing training on that and adding some different equipment. Matter of fact, if you're watching this and there's some equipment that you're like, David, how do you not have that? I'd love it if you'd let me know in the comments below what I'm missing so that we can potentially add that to the Masa Casa gym. So there's my backyard gym currently. Now I did drink a pre-workout prior to filming this, so I'm about to get my workout number 2 of the day in. And a lot of people, you know what, not even a lot of people, myself, I love watching other people who are into fitness and wellness. I love watching their YouTube videos and seeking inspiration from like how they write their workouts. So for those of you who are still watching and are interested, there's 2 things I want to tell you. 1, how I compose my workouts and where I seek inspiration. And then 2, the things I would do differently if I was starting from scratch and rebuilding a backyard gym. So first things first, let's talk about how I write my workouts. So I bought myself a cheap little dry erase board. It's, yeah, super cheap on Amazon, little cheap markers and whatever. I always start out with 2 minutes of cardio. It's just enough to get the heart rate, like to let the body know that we're about to start work, moving some blood around the body. I'll jump on the ski erg, the runner, the rower, or the bike. Then I like to do a primer, usually 50 to 100 reps of something that's easy to do. In this case, 50 leg extensions on the freak athlete. And then after I do my primer, the primer is usually always 50 to 100 reps, and it's always the muscle that I'm about to do strength. So instead of building up, a lot of times people will spend a lot of time building up. If they're doing back squat, they'll do 10 minutes of lighter back squats. I'm not saying that's a bad idea, and I'm not saying I don't always do that, but when you do a primer, it kind of primes the muscle for it. So I can pretty much jump right into a somewhat heavy back squat. Obviously, if I'm doing a 1 rep max or something like that, which I don't do a lot, I will work up. But in this case, 5 sets, 5 reps of back squat is my strength, and I'll go pretty heavy on that. Once I do that, I jump into a high intensity interval training style workout. When I have friends over, I like to write EMOMs. That way everybody can do something at the same exact time and we're not overlapping each other or waiting for somebody to finish. But in today's case, I'm really trying to focus on building the machine. I'm gonna do 500 meters of run. I always try to incorporate strength with high intensity, with sprints, with something fast paced, getting the heart rate jacked up, and then recruiting muscle. So 500 meter run, do 5 pull-ups, 500 meter ski, do 5 wall balls, 500 meter row, do 5 GHDs hitting core, 500 meter bike, and then do 5 dumbbell snatches. This is not a typical workout because I'm always changing it. There's always gonna be some variety. This is similar to how I'll write most of my workouts when people come over. The goal is get in and out between 40 to 50 minutes of work, make it intense. That way we have time to do some sauna, some cold plunge, and some fellowship as well. But this is how I'll typically write my workout. Now, I did mention earlier that I was gonna tell you what I would do differently. Really what I would do differently is when you see these decks that everything's on, I started with 1 deck, and then shortly after that I realized I need more room, and I have room, so I added a 2nd deck, and now here we are, and I'm wanting to build a 3rd deck. Obviously, it would be nice if money wasn't an option to just have done all of this at one time. And I think if I was doing it all differently, I would have done it all at one time, and I would have created a cardio section with a cover. Everything is working great, but you know, it would work even better and it would look even better if it was outside of the elements. So having it outside, it's fine. It's like having a garage gym and leaving your garage open. But having it undercover would be even better. So I would probably build a little bit of a cover, put all my cardio equipment in one section, I would probably have got a larger rig, something where 2 to 3 people could be doing work at the exact same time. It's just fun. It's fun when everybody can do that. Not everybody has the same strength, so people will come over and work out, and we're constantly moving weights around because I have one rack. So it would be nice to have a little bit more room, a little bit more rack space. And it would also be nice if I had rubber floored the entire thing, because I do have concrete and it's polished and it gets really slippery when it's wet. So getting out of the cold plunge, if people move really fast, they can slip. Having this rubber flooring is great. And I would probably have just rubber floored everything all at once before the equipment is on there. But as far as everything else goes, I'm not disappointed with any of the equipment. It's all held up really, really well. It's all working really, really well. And I really, really love the community aspect of having people come over to my house, work out with me, fellowship with me, get to meet a bunch of other new people, sign the wall, do some sauna, cold plunge, get exposed to different pieces of equipment and different modalities that maybe they aren't exposed to at their home gyms. And I'm really blessed and grateful that God has given me this opportunity to be able to do this with people like you and share it with viewers like you. And if you are ever in Tampa, reach out to me on Instagram. It's at DMossJr. DM me. People do it. It's truly like that easy. If you're ever coming through Tampa, if it works out, come over, hit a workout with me. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, but more than likely it will work out. So shoot your shot and reach out. Other than that, I appreciate you guys so much for watching. I'm gonna go get my workout in right now. I'll see you on the next video. Have a great day, my friends, and God bless.